Big picture, looking at the rest of the season. So I tweeted this earlier today, mixed reactions because nobody's in a good mood about anything right now. Florida State has 4 games left, 3 of them on the road. And I'm going to give you these percentages, and I want you to give me your immediate reaction after each one of them. But ESPN's FPI projects that Florida State has a 53.8% chance to beat Clemson. They're, according to ESPN, not according to Vegas, they're a 2.5-point dog there. But according to ESPN, Florida State, even though it's on the road, even though they've won one conference game in 400 days, they say that they'll beat Clemson, which for those of you at home, I will be at that Clemson game. Got a big weekend scheduled up there in that area. Thoughts on Florida State being a favorite on the road, according to ESPN, Richie?
Insanity. I like I said, so last segment was our positive segment. Now let's get back to reality. Clemson is not a good team this year, but they have an extremely loyal fan base, right up there with the likes of Nebraska. It will be a sold out stadium for Florida State coming into town, and I just do not see Florida State winning that game.
Yeah, it's high for me. I think this is more of a, so if I had to give it a percentage, I'd say 70-30. Like 70% Clemson wins, 30. Like Florida State's very capable. Like Clemson has just over and over and over. I don't know how many of you guys have watched their games. They haven't had a lot of big games because they haven't been very good. Obviously, that first one against LSU was a big one. They're just not very good. And they consistently find ways to lose games. I know they got screwed yesterday by the refs. I know Dabo said that wasn't the reason they lost. I'm just telling you, yeah, they should have won the game earlier. I get it. They got screwed. But I just have a tough time seeing this defense slow them down enough. And I think the offense is going to have to be pretty perfect, and you're going to need Cade to have a bad day. So not saying it's unreasonable for Florida State to win, but I think 53% for FSU to win that one is crazy. Then you come back home. This seems high to me too. Again, maybe I'm just being a hater, but 85.1% chance to beat Virginia Tech. Now I'll say this, Richie. I'll go first on this one. I think we beat Virginia Tech. And I said that before the weight game, after Stanford, all that stuff. 85% though, to more than 85.1 to beat VT. Does that seem high to you? I've continued to tell you guys about Campus Course. I'm wearing another one of their shirts right now. This is the speckled white shirt. I don't even have a logo on this one because you can still kind of tell it's Florida State, but if you wear it to a non-FSU event, it works there too. The best thing about Campus Course, you go online, you pick where you want your logo and which logo you want. You want to put the spear on this. You want to put the word Seminoles on this. You want to put the Osceola's head on this. You want to put it on your shoulder. You want to put it on the back of your neck. They will customize it however you want it. Use our code DFNS for 20% off at campuscourse.com. You can pick their stuff up at Garnet and Gold if you happen to be in town, or online as well. Make sure that you are shopping with Campus Course. The holidays are coming up. They make a great gift. They're a great quality polo, and I've got more coming for them that you guys are going to be excited about, but appreciate them, as always, for their support.
Seems pretty high, but I don't think it's outrageous by any means. Virginia Tech is really, really bad. And Florida State, while they're not a good team, and I don't claim that they are, but I think that they are the better team. They are more talented. I think coaching is probably a wash between these two teams because neither coaching staff is really good. 85 is a little high. I'd probably go closer towards 70, 75, but I don't think 85 is outrageous.
Yesterday, Virginia Tech lost to Louisville 28-16. They beat Cal the week before that, lost to Virginia Tech the week before that, lost to Wake the week before that. They did beat NC State, who had a big win against Georgia Tech last week. So their results have kind of been all over the place. They lost to Old Dominion early in the year. They got blown out by Vandy early in the year. They got beat by South Carolina early in the year. They're not good, and they don't have a coach. And I suspect that Florida State will still have a coach by the time that Virginia Tech game happens. I don't think Florida State will move off of Mike Norvell until the end of the year, if they do at all. I do think they win that game, but again, 85 seems high to me. This one is crazy too. Listen, I think all these are crazy, just to let you know. 68, let me make sure I'm not reading that wrong. 68.2% to win at NC State. NC State just drug Georgia Tech yesterday at home. And I understand the results of one game don't make or break a year because we saw that week 1. But more than a 2-3 chance of beating NC State on the road, Richie?
So with their model, and I get it, they have to have one because everybody has one of these models, right? To power rank teams and whatnot. They don't take into place, nor should one of these specific models. So I understand that, but they don't take into account intangibles. Florida State does not play well in Raleigh. And I know what happened 2 years ago, or 4 years ago, or 6 years ago doesn't really matter in this year's game. I just do not like Florida State playing up in Raleigh. And I'm going to, I, I would think that would be closer to a coin toss at best, 50-50.
So
So I think that's way too high for Florida State.
If this game was neutral site, would you think that that is closer to accurate? Like you'd take Florida State 2 out of 3 times?
Yes.
Okay, I'll buy that.
Yes.
I see. I would buy that too. I don't think they're factoring in enough for home field here. Notre Dame or NC State has been fairly good at home, not great by any means, but they've been much better at home. They beat Virginia at home. They beat Georgia Tech at home. They've lost a lot of their games on the road. They lost to Wake on the road. Or no, they beat Wake on the road. I'm sorry. They lost to Duke on the road. They lost to Pittsburgh on the road. They lost to Notre Dame on the road. Sorry, no, they didn't play Notre Dame. I'm just making stuff up. No, they did. They lost 36-7 against Notre Dame. NC State has been so up and down that it's not funny. To beat Georgia Tech yesterday, 2 weeks before that, they got blown out by Notre Dame. They gave up 53 points to Pittsburgh right after Pittsburgh beat us. They are one of, and Florida State maybe is the same way on this, they are one of the most up and down teams in the ACC. They'll play great one week and terrible the next. I do think something that helps them or helps us or mitigates a little bit because we're on the road at Clemson. They're on the road at Miami that same week. So this week coming up, while we're at Clemson, they're at Miami. And so both of us will have played like a similar level of physical style game. I would expect Miami beats them, even though I certainly hope NC State does win that game. But I would think that Miami will beat them and rebound from their loss. And so you could have two teams that are desperate to do everything they can to save their coach's job. I wouldn't be surprised if Dave Doran got fired at some point this year. But yeah, I think that percentage is a little bit high. And then I'll tell you the truth. I think this last one's high too. I think all 4 of these are a little bit high. 46.7% chance to beat UF. So again, essentially a coin flip. Like home field doesn't even account for like 3%. Like that would be more like 10-15% if you flopped this home and away. Do you believe the Florida game's a coin flip the way they looked against Georgia yesterday? Now, maybe Georgia's just overrated. Who knows? But do you think the Florida game is truly a coin flip?
No. And even if Napier, he's gone. But no, I don't think it's a coin flip. I think if I were gauging it, I'd say maybe like 62-38 in UF's favor. We hate Florida. But you and I have both been to the swamp many of times, even when they're bad. I remember being there in 2013 when we were undefeated and they were 4-7 at the time. That was a raucous crowd in the first quarter. And, Jameis and really Kelvin Benjamin just decided to silence them. And of course, the crowd calmed down a little bit. But that is going to be an extremely tough environment. And if Florida State has the record I think they're going to have heading into that game, if they get punched in the mouth early, it's going to be over. So I'd say something like, 62-38, 65-35 in Florida's favor, in my opinion.
Yeah, I have Florida at closer to that 66. Now, they're a dumpster fire too. Let's be honest. Now, I know their quarterback is not any good. Like
Correct.
Castellanos has legitimately been better than Lagway this year, and that's not even a question, even with being banged up, although Lagway's banged up too. And outside of like a fluky miracle play, I mean, they should have lost to Mississippi State too. I think what'll be interesting is how Florida plays these next 3 games. Kentucky, Ole Miss, and then Tennessee before they have us, because we're all doom and gloom about our schedule. But I just got a hilarious text. Somebody asked me, did you say fire Mike for letting them score? I know that's not the segment that we're on right now, but we fired Brock Glenn just for the text that I just got. But now this person has just completely derailed my thought train on whatever. Oh, we're all doom and gloom on what Mike what Mike and Florida State's record might be over the Florida's could be legitimately just as bad. Even if they beat Kentucky, they could lose to the Tennessees of the world and the Ole Miss of the world and be kind of in the same spot we're in. So you just wonder, will they have anything to play for at that point? I saw they just lost, unfortunately for them, their star wide receiver, Dallas Wilson, for the year. They're incredibly banged up. I think Florida State's relatively healthy at this point. Gotten a lot of guys back. And so if you can stay healthy, I think that'll be a game. Like, I don't think either one of these teams is good enough to just blow out the other team. You just have to hope that Florida State can start a little quicker and be a little more effective offensively than they have been early in games. It feels like they come on late, but you kind of need some of that offensive firepower to start working for you earlier than it is. So ESPN's projection, Richie, is 7-5, which is kind of crazy. Like, even if you do it in a win share perspective, like, you round up. So it's like 6 and more than 0.5. So they're saying Florida State gets to 7-5. I feel like that's high. What would your record be right now for the end of the year? Like, would you say they find a way to win one of the three, or do you just have them truly winning the one?
5-7.
So they beat Virginia Tech. There's no bowl. ESPN's higher on the Noles than you are. They're two higher than you.
Yeah. No, I think what we saw last night was awesome. Again, very happy for the players, but I just don't think this is a team that's going to respond well to getting smacked in the mouth. And there's a good chance that happens in every game throughout the rest of the season. Now, not to say it week by week, as we do our live shows on Wednesday previewing the games, what happened the week before could not change my mind. It possibly could, but I think you're looking at 5 or 6 wins at the end of the season.
I'm going to go 6-6. I don't know. Maybe it's just the Kool-Aid that I'm drinking. Maybe it's the Dr. Pepper. I don't know. But I'm going to go 6-6 at this point. ESPN's high on us. I'm just going to trust their FPI, which is a trash stat and metric, but it's the easiest one to get to. So here we are. Hey, just before the video ends, I do want to give some love to Sleeper. Make sure you're using our code DFNS for a 100% match up to $100 on the Sleeper app. We play the more or less game on Wednesday nights on our live preview. Make sure you're checking that out as well. Appreciate Sleeper, as always, for their support.